Hi everyone, you're watching FX, and in this video I'm going to make technical analysis for the coming week. And the sponsor of this video is simplefx.com. Offers Forex and cryptocurrency CFDs trading. And now you can deposit with Bitcoin. Please check description for the link to SimpleFX. Okay guys, so we are starting with euro dollar as usual. Okay, so you see now it's a 4-hour chart, and we still have euro dollar in an uptrend channel. You can see that channel it still sits there, and we have a little bit of the first signs of possible changing direction, right? Because you see we have here double top, and I have this new level around here, and also we do have this area which looks like a shoulder. So if I will go on a daily chart, you can see a little bit better here that is looking like a shoulder and possibly a head. So that's the first sign. It's possibly it can start to turning around. So, and but as you know how I trade, usually I place trades both directions. So I will be looking for doing the same again this week, and will be American news. So don't forget. I think there will be some commentary for Europe too. So bear in mind all of that. So this week, what I'm will be looking for, you see, like the previous week, it's broke just a little bit out of this channel, but actually come back in afterwards. So it's kind of trying to show us it's starting to testing that area, but still sitting inside. So I will be looking at, of course, what is going to happen in here. Possibly, first I will be looking if it will be coming back to this level, and if it will create something around here, or possibly going to these areas. So because we have a kind of double top, and it looks like it might create even a triple top, right? So it could possibly get to this area. So I'm kind of think it is a possibility, which is about 120 pips. So that's the point is here. Okay, I would be looking at this creating anything around here. See, so right around here and there. So because I would have then enough space to go down, it's about, you see, 70 pips, and you saw about 120 pips up. So if it will create around this area, I'll be looking for trades both directions, with possibly this going back to that level. Okay, so if it will create something around here, I will be placing orders both directions again, buy and sell. And of course, but with more, bear in mind that possibly it could be the turning point, but who knows, right? It all depends what the news are coming. But the first signs we already have, but at the same time, it's still possible to get to this. We still have a bit of the time, so it might reach this area first before it will turn around. So who knows? It could be 1, 2, and the third could jump up like this. We do have this point of view too. So that's why I'm saying, if it will from here, for example, it will go to next area. This is where I will be looking for concentration and slowing down around this area, and looking for trades again both directions, up and down. So that's very easy now. Okay, euro dollar. This is my view for the next coming week. Now pound dollar. So what we're going to do with this pair. So again, I think there will be again something for pound. Maybe not as major as it was this week, but of course the dollar will be very important news. And well, okay, analyzing what happened with pound dollar, it's jump out of all the levels, and what they're saying, there will be again in October some comments and talkings about Brexit. So possibly it might still go a little bit higher or something, and then would turn around, right, when it's going to be October. At this moment, we can see it's actually big head, shoulder. You see head and shoulders. So of course that because of that, this is what you expect that to go, and at least to, well, we have one area to reach, or even right to finish the pattern, right? You can see that head and shoulders, so it could possibly reach even that area. So at this moment, it's very hard to say anything and what is it going to do. But on the smaller chart, so this is the bigger picture, right? So on the smaller picture, I will be looking for this consolidation, right? So after all of these jumps, what is it going to create around here? Because again, it's also again could be going back down. We have 100 pips, and of course going back up wherever distance it would want to go. So we do have it. So what can happen, of course, right now you see it's created like a little bit of a nice beginning of the consolidation, something similar to the previously movement, right? So I can think it could be possibly a gap or anything. So that's why I'm not going to draw the levels, right? Like I did it here. But if you would watch my previous video, you would know how I trade, okay? And you would understand how to place the levels if there wouldn't be a gap, if it will continue nice consolidation around here. So that's what I'm saying. Okay, if it will be gap again, so it depends where it jumps. If it goes down here, then any consolidation around this area, placing the orders both direction. Of course, don't forget about the gap, how big it will be, and bear in mind that possibly it should close the gap, but might not be straight away. Just remember that, okay? And if it will do the other way, exactly doing the same after the gap, just would wait for consolidation and placing the orders both directions if they still thought that it might close the gap first, okay? So that's the view for the next week for pound dollar. I mean, it had a very good run, and of course it's quite possible that it was just a reaction and it might turn down, okay? Might have a correction back or anything. We do still have all those levels, so though I wouldn't ignore them, and I would wait for anything around those areas if it will turn around like that. Okay, with Australian dollar, so at this moment there is nothing really kind of going on. It just looks like it's got into the side, and I would be looking for well, trying to get back up a little bit to this area, maybe before the news event or something, a little bit more going up back to this level would be a little bit better if it would do for me, for example, in the respect. And then I would be looking for trades both directions again around this area, or from here going down to this area and consolidate around here. If it will be doing something in the middle, I wouldn't go for trades, okay? In the middle, no trades for me, okay? So only going to one or another level and then have a consolidation. So what do we have on the bigger picture? The same, right? Okay, it had a good uptrend. That's why I was saying I was trying to get into the trade last week, because there is actually double top also here, and it's been going up for quite a while. So I was expecting a little bit of correction and possibility to go to this level, right, where you have kind of like a double top, well, let's say like a neck area or bottom area or something, even going to this level, okay? But at the same time, it could be possibly going one wave, second wave, and possibly it could break, right, the third wave. So it could be on a bigger chart we're looking, right? Okay, so it can continue the uptrend, even though it has a little bit of signs of changing the direction, but at the same time it still can continue. And just like I was saying, going to one another level, we'll have now 50 pips. If it will be trying to break, it's even higher, okay, but at least 50 pips. If it, for example, will go and consolidate near that area, and the same, if it will sit and consolidate around this area, we do have about, you see, 80 something pips, so pretty much in the middle. Again, it's sitting, so that's why I would wait for getting closer to any of the levels this time. Okay, now we're going to dollar yen. So here I was, right? Okay, so it's now at this top, kind of trying to show that it doesn't want to give up. It's been in that area for a few times already. You see how many times it's been around here, right? And from the previous breakouts, right? Breaking 1, 2, and was sitting here and trying to come back and around here. So yes, it is possible it will try to break and continue to the next possible slowdown area, right? Or at the same time, it might turn and go back down here again. So it's not clear what the trend is in here, because you can see it's in a side. Right now it's in a side trend, okay? So it's sitting around here and doesn't want to pick up a proper trend just yet. So that's why I was saying it could possibly get into something like a triangle on a bigger picture, but on the smaller one, it's doesn't pick up the proper trend right now. So it's you see it sits around this area for a while already. You see, like for quite a while. So there is something has to happen. I think there will be yen news too. Just as I'm saying, dollar news, yen news. So it will be I believe there will be some movements. So first I would look what kind of consolidation it will create around this area, and looking for, it's about 40-50 pips back to here, about 80 pips back to this area. So possibly would see, because at the same time it's first it was looking like a shoulder and a head, so possibly I was expecting that to create a shoulder and then you know, continue the way down, but it's actually broke up, so it could possibly so I'm saying continue going to the next level. Okay, so next area, so waiting for creation anything, so it could possibly ignore that level and then create something in here and jump back to this area, right, and then create something around here, and then again either go back up or continue the way down. So that's why all those levels, I will be looking at all those levels and placing the pending orders again if there will be any consolidations around those areas. Okay, now dollar CAD. Okay, so now you see all the week was nothing there, was just a correction, didn't see any possibilities to go into the trades, and now it's jumped back into this little channel just as expected when I was making the video previous week, and now I will be waiting for it to sit around this area, possibly slowly maybe going to that level. So well, I'm going to a little bit continue that just to see that it could possibly like break that and then be stopped by this level. But I can see a little bit of the slowing down at the same time. We have this little tops a little bit lower. So to be honest, it would be the best, like the best scenario for me would be if it will go and sit around this area, and then that would be a little bit better condition for it. For example, you see here would be at least about 60 pips if it will be stopped in here, for example, and if it will be continue the downtrend, we'll have at least 60 pips. So you see, if it would be something like this between in here would be 60 here, 60 there, of course with possibility of breaking and continue the downtrend. At the same time, it can obviously break and change the direction. Okay, so it could possibly be something like that. Depends on, I guess there will be news, so we'll see. Maybe I wouldn't touch the pair until actually the news release. Again, so waiting and see how is it going to prepare itself for the news. But that area would have been just perfect for concentration. Of course, if it will get somewhere around here, will jump or anything. For example, in here, see, I wouldn't go for trades because it's only 30 pips. It might break it, it might not. For me, it would be a little bit too risky, so I wouldn't consider it if it will just get around too close. A little bit further away, concentrating around that level would have been a little bit better for me in making decisions for going for the possible trades. Okay, so that's the dollar CAD. Obviously, you can see we're expecting the continuation of the downtrend. At the same time, it can change the trend. Even though there is not much of the like signs, there is no. We had like a little double bottom, but nothing really much would show it's possibly maybe turning around. It's more like it's correcting, really, just a correction, and then should continue its way. So possibly, but I'm saying it's Forex, anything can happen, and then expecting any directions movements. And as I'm saying, you can watch the previous video again to see the way I trade, and that will answer all your questions. And okay, euro pound, what do we have now? So with all this big news, well, as I'm saying, there will be, I think, some comments for euro, so maybe it will be some movements, but this week was really big and strong movements, nothing unexpected from euro pound. Remember, we had the first signs of head and shoulders over here, so now it's continue, and let's just see where it is. You can see, right, it kind of finished, right, the pattern, I would say, because it's right at the bottom. So now we had here something like a flag, similar, right? Remember I was telling you about it. So now I would see that movement possibly consolidate around this area. So maybe it will be thinking a little bit around here. So you see now, for example, I don't need this anymore. That's it. So we do have a good movement, and this is my next important level. So I would, what I'm trying to say, I would possibly wait until it's actually moved down to that level, and then make decisions what to do, because you see how close it is. It's like really close. It's nothing, no room for it to go. It's like create something just around this level, around this big level. See, like what about 80 pips, 18 pips, very little. So something, if it will sit around this area for a while, so I would be looking those two, possibly even pending orders from those levels. Of course, expecting that it could possibly be recovery, right? It's dropped quite a lot, and maybe it will have a recovery and turn around. Okay, so quite possible. And just as I was saying, if it will sit in this area still, right? So if thinking about the recovery, then probably still placing the pending orders from that level, and well, for sell orders still from that, wouldn't go it inside, because it can be stopped by this little level. You see, it's been here for a while before. It's been breaking it a little bit and coming back and sitting in here. So you see, it depends now what the news to expect. You saw how pound influenced a lot and moved a lot. Okay, so that's the view on euro pound. And now going to gold. Okay, gold disappointed a little bit towards this gap, because I was really hoping that on Monday it would have tried to close the gap. And again, news this week. Possibly I will be just watching and looking to see what is it going, how it's going to prepare before the news. So probably wouldn't go for any trades before that. That's the another possible spot level. So could possibly slow it down here or continue to the next level. So for me, it would be no, I wouldn't place any trades at this point, but just to wait for where it's going to consolidate before the news event. So obviously this week it was nothing really much for anything, and it was just slow, possibly correction, because you see it's been going up for a while, so possibly it's a correction, and depends what kind of news for dollar going to come out. It could either turn around again and continue, right, to reach our target, or it actually can continue, it can be a turning for this turning around for this uptrend. It's been going for a while. See, like that. So what do we have else here? Not much. I mean, it did reach pretty much closer. Get it? We have a little bit of this a wing, so kind of also like trying to show this. Maybe it's like turning around really. So it's quite possible. So it could be a change in direction, but no news right now. So we'll be possibly we'll be reacting on the news this next week. So we will see where it will concentrate and how it will prepare. So maybe it will just continue in here until the news happens. But personally, I wouldn't go for trades right now. You see, there's nothing for me. Last week it was nothing. Okay, this is gold and pound yen. For those of you who does trade pound yen, what I would look is that, okay, you see, it wasn't stopped by any of these levels, so it's come out kind of from the possible triangle we had, right? And it's even broke another strong level of the possible the channel could have been, right? So it could be anything now. So if it will be continuing just like an uptrend, you see, like this, which is like quite far away, is because it come out from a triangle, is it was starting as an uptrend, and then it could go something like that, which is a little bit too early to say. And also, if we would look with this, where it could be also stopped, we have a little bit of something in here, and at the same time around here, so which is probably about, it could be a kind of target around this area. So you see with here, if we're looking at this tops, and it crosses the uptrend level of this uptrend, which was slowing down and created as a triangle. So it could possibly do something like this in, let's say, in the future, but again, you see, it will depend on what kind of news are going to come. But technically, this is what it pretty much looks like, because we had 1 and 1 and 2 and 2, and kind of like 3 and 3, and you see the fourth was a false break, and then it's turned around and trying to come out from the triangle. It's because of that kind of triangle. It's a very strong move it makes. So right now for a smaller trades, for example, of course, looking at this consolidation, looking maybe like a pennant if there wouldn't be any gaps. So just continue with that and see how it will continue, and then placing trades both directions. Of course, is for me would have been okay, and could be some. If it will go down like as a correction, you see you have 170, 180 pips to this level, back to the next level you still have 200. So it's quite a lot of movements could be around this area again, either direction. See, it's really hard to say which way it will go, so we're expecting it can continue the trend, just like I'm saying, or it could be a correction. So it could be any. Okay, so that's why it's just wait for whatever's going to happen here and then place the trades, just like you can see it in my previous video, how I was making it with the other pairs. Okay, guys, so that's it. That's my view for next week. That's what I will be looking for. Thank you for watching. Watch the previous video if you want to see my real trades and how it's trading and how to trade, place the orders, pending orders, stops, alarms, and it's 100 plus something pips profit without any losing trades. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe, like it, share it, and happy trading, and I see you next week. Bye everyone.